December 26. 795. Adrian I, Pope, died. He was a Roman patrician, who on his elevation to the pontificate highly embellished St. Peter's Church, and displayed his benevolence and humanity during a famine occasioned by the inundation of the Tiber. 1135. Stephen crowned King of England on St. Stephen's Day. 1292. John Balliol performed homage to Edward of England at Newcastle. 1300. Edward I of England forbade the circulation of crochards, pollards, rosaries, and other foreign coins, as sterlings. New sterling money coined, so called from the Easterlings, who were the first coiners of silver of that fineness in England. 1530. Khaireddin Mohammed Babur, founder of the Tartar Empire in Hindostan, died, aged 47. He made the first eruption into Hindostan in 1505, which was unsuccessful. But in 1524 he again undertook the invasion, defeated and killed the Sultan in battle, and extended his conquest far and wide with astonishing rapidity. He was one of the most distinguished sovereigns that ever sat upon an Asiatic throne. 1552. Charles V raised the siege of Metz, with the loss of 30,000 men. 1679. Thomas Blount, an English barrister at law, died, distinguished for his talents and learning, and as a respectable writer. 1729. Honoré Tournilly, a distinguished French ecclesiastic, died. He was professor of philosophy at Douai, and a popular preacher. 1731. Anthony Houdart de la Motte, an ingenious French critic and miscellaneous author, died. His works consisted of epic poetry, tragedy, comedy, lyric, pastoral, and fable, besides a vast variety of discourses, critical and academical. 1732. William Leland, of Lisnagan, in Ireland, died, aged 139. He was alike remarkable for his stature and longevity. 1762. Everard Titan du Tillet, a French Jesuit, died, distinguished for his learning, and for a brazen Parnassus which he planned and erected in honor of Louis XIV. 1771. Claude Adrien Helvétius, a French writer, died. He was a wealthy and benevolent man, but his works were irreligious. 1776. Battle of Trenton, New Jersey. The Americans under Washington crossed the Delaware on a cold and stormy night, and surprised the Hessians at sunrise. Carl Ryle and 20 men were killed and the remainder surrendered, to the number of 1,000. Of the Americans 2 were killed and 2 frozen to death. This well-judged and successful enterprise revived the depressed spirits of the colonists and produced an immediate and happy effect in recruiting the American army. 1780. John Fothergill, an eminent London physician, died. He was of the sect of Quakers, and distinguished himself by his public and private benefactions, his encouragement of science, and attention to the health, the police and the conveniences of the city, as well as his great medical skill. 1782. Henry Home, Lord Kames, died. He was one of the senators of the College of Justice in Scotland, and eminent as a critical and philosophical writer. 1784. Otto Frederick Müller, a Danish naturalist, died. His works show much method and great accuracy. 1797. John Wilkes, a famous English politician and an elegant scholar, died. He was a Member of Parliament, Lord Mayor of London, and afterwards Chamberlain. 1800. Mary Robinson died, an elegant English poetess, novelist and dramatic writer. 1806. Battle of Pultusk in Poland, between the Russians under Benningsen and the French under Lannes. The latter were defeated with the loss of 8,000. Russian loss 5,000. The French drew back with such haste that the advancing Cossacks were unable to overtake their rear guard next day. Lannes was glanced by a ball, and had 2 aides killed. 1806. Battle of Solda. French under Ney defeated the Prussians under Lestock. 1806. Battle of Alawa, in Prussian Poland. French under Marchand gained a brilliant victory. 1806. Battle of Golymin. Russians defeated by the French under Murat and Davoust. The Russians on this eventful day lost 80 cannon, 12,000 men, and a great amount of baggage, etc. 1811. Destruction of Richmond Theatre, in consequence of the scenery taking fire, when 123 persons perished, among whom was the governor of the state, and a great number of females. 1812. Joel Barlow, an American poet and statesman, died at Garnowich, in Poland, while on an embassy from the United States to Bonaparte. His principal work is The Columbiad, a poem. 1820. Joseph Fouché, Duke of Otranto, died. He was one of the most flagrant of the French revolutionists, but had the adroitness to escape punishment by shifting his opinions with every variation of the public sentiment and policy. 1831. Stephen Girard, a wealthy Philadelphia banker, died. He was a native of France, was first a cabin boy, then mate of a ship, then keeper of a toy shop, afterwards a merchant, and finally a banker. He left an estate of 10 or 15 millions, which was bequeathed to charitable and public purposes. 1843. Reverend James Harvey Lindsley, a writer in the American Journal of Science, died at Stratford. 1851. The town of Lagos, on the coast of Africa, destroyed by an English force, with a loss of 30 killed and 60 wounded, because the native chief refused to sign a treaty for the effectual suppression of the slave trade. The chief was deposed, and another substituted in his place. 1851. A large portion of the Chinese part of Hong Kong destroyed by fire, including all the printing offices, the finest edifices and public buildings. The loss of nearly 500 houses and many human lives.